Hey guys, this is Mrs. Foy, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial about how to calculate molar mass. Okay, so remember that molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of a substance. Okay, so molar mass is going to be the mass of 1 mole of a substance. So the first thing we have to do is we have to go through and write the formula for these things. Okay, so methane, a scientifically literate person should know that methane is natural gas, and the formula for that is CH4. So that's cool. We're going to come back in just a minute and calculate that. Ammonium sulfate. So ammonium is NH4 plus, sulfate is SO4 minus 2, and so ammonium sulfate is going to be NH4 parentheses 2, I need 2 of them, SO4, and 10,2-phosphate. So 10,2, the Roman numeral 2 means it is a plus 2 charge. Phosphate is PO4 minus 3, and so 10,2-phosphate, I would need 3 of these 10s, and I would need 2 phosphates in order to balance out my charges. So I have plus 6 and minus 6, all right? So that's the first thing that you do, and that's just all nomenclature, and you know that, or if you don't know that, then you need to come and see me so I can help you. So what we're going to do to calculate the molar mass is we're going to use our handy-dandy periodic table, which you guys have, and we are going to calculate how much mass is in 1 mole of these different substances, all right? So I can see that I have 1 carbon, and I have 4 hydrogens. So remember, my rule is to round to the nearest hundredth of a gram. So if I look on the periodic table under carbon, I see that carbon has a mass of 12.01, and each hydrogen has a mass of 1.01, and I multiply that times 4, so that's going to give me 4.04. And so then I add my 1 carbon and my 4 hydrogens, and I get 16.05 grams. So the molar mass of methane is 16.05 grams per mole, and what that means is that 1 mole of methane weighs 16.05 grams. And you see where I got that. I wrote the formula. I see I have 1 carbon in my formula and 4 hydrogens in my formula, so I take the atomic mass of these, and I need 4 hydrogens, so that's why I multiply that times 4. All right, ammonium sulfate. So this, I need to know what these parentheses mean. So just like in math, if you have a number outside the parentheses, it means 2 times everything inside the parentheses. So I'm going to have nitrogen's mass times 2. I'm going to have hydrogen's mass times 8. Do you see that? Because this is 2 times that nitrogen, and then 2 times that 4, which is 8. And then I'm going to have 1 sulfur, and then I'm going to have 4 oxygens. All right? So, let's see, I didn't leave myself very much space here. So, hopefully it will be okay with you if I just erase this. You remember how we got this. If you didn't, then you can go back and check it again. So let's see, nitrogen's mass is 14.01 times 2, so that is 28.02, and hydrogen's mass is 1.01, and that's going to be times 8, so that's going to be 8.08. Sulfur is 32.07, and of course I'm getting these all from the periodic table. And then oxygen times 4, so that's going to be 16.00 times 4, which is 64. And then I add all of these numbers up, and I get for the molar mass of ammonium sulfate 132.17 grams per mole. What that means is that 1 mole of ammonium sulfate weighs 132.17 grams per mole. And so I added this number, and this number, and this number, and this number in order to get that. All right? So now let's do our last one. Our last one is 10,2-phosphate. So it looks like I'm going to need the mass of 3 10s in that formula, 1 phosphorus times 2, right? Because remember, I've got a parenthesis, so 2 times that, and then an oxygen times 8. You see that? Because I have 4 oxygens inside the parentheses and 2 on the outside, so oxygen times 8. So the mass of 110 is going to be 118.71, rounded to the nearest hundredth of a gram, times 3. So that's going to be 356.13 grams. Boy, that's heavy. Phosphorus is 30.97 times 2, which is 61.94 grams. And oxygen rounds to 16.00 times 8. That is 128. So I add those up, and the molar mass of 10,2-phosphate is a whopping 546.07 grams per mole. And again, what that means is that 1 mole of 10,2-phosphate weighs 546.07 grams. So the molar mass of 10,2-phosphate is 546.07 grams. So calculating molar mass is a really, really important thing. And if you don't quite get that, then make sure you can rewatch the screencast and then do some practice problems. All right, so hopefully that helped. See ya.